Raider Nation. Thank you for joining us on the Only Nation podcast, brought to you by the Raider Ramble. My name is Heidi, but you may know me as Kevlar Prom Dress or even Raider Ladybug. I'm here with Raider Homer and T3 Raider Facts, and we're ready to talk some Raiders football together.
Always ready to talk Raider football, and we're 1 week away, so I'm super excited.
Carolina is in our sights. Are you ready for some football?
Oh, I'm ready. I am ready.
Absolutely.
Can I get an amen from the people in the back?
Amen.
All right, today on the show, we've got our usual news and notes, and we're going to take a look at our new 2020 Las Vegas Raiders roster.
Nice.
Wish I could whistle there.
All right, we would love to hear from you, Raider Nation, so here's how you can get in touch with us. Leave us a message on the Only Nation podcast voicemail line at 904-701-8667, or you can also text us at that number. That's 904-701-8667. Our email address is onlynationpod@gmail.com, and we can be found on Twitter and Instagram at onlynationpod. You can also check us out on Facebook and YouTube at The Only Nation Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps. Don't forget to send us a message with your name and address, and we'll get you some free Raider merch sent out to you. Also, check out our new website at onlynationpod.com.
Okay, and our latest news. When Allegiant Stadium opens, it will be the first American pro sports venue that's gone completely cashless. Everything will be done by card or by like Google Pay, stuff like that. The very first event that may be hosting fans there is the 2021 Pro Bowl. So I remember when Lisa Motley was on our show a few weeks back, said that is a really good chance that Pro Bowl is when they're going to first host fans. And if you make it for that, don't bring cash, bring your card.
Never leave home without it.
I know when I make my first trip to Vegas, it's going to wipe me out of cash anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The 2020 captains have been announced. They are Kyle Wilbur, Derek Carr, Malik Collins, Rodney Hudson, Nick Kwiatkowski, and Eric Harris. As predicted, Kyle Wilbur did not make the 53-man roster, but I did predict that he would be picked up again very soon after that, and he has been.
And they also made him a captain.
Yes, they did. He's great on special teams. Great special teams captain.
I'm excited that Eric Harris, he made the team and he's a captain. I've been a long-time believer in that guy, so I'm excited to see what he can do this year.
There's your boy. He's a captain, and also the dude is a captain.
And then his other dude, Derek.
Oh, yeah, Derek Carr.
There you go.
You knew he was going to be the captain, though. Everybody knew that.
Well, yeah.
In a surprise move before roster cutdowns, the Raiders traded Lynn Bowden Jr. and a 6th-round pick to the Dolphins in exchange for a 2021 4th-round pick. Bowden had yet to take a snap for the team. That was a head-scratcher, huh?
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Raider Nation has been up in arms the last week. Everybody's been speculating. Gruden said it was totally a football decision, but there's been lots of back and forth on this, and people aren't so sure that it wasn't more than just football decision there.
I am positive there was more than just football.
Yeah, it's a blocking issue. You kept hearing, coming out of camp that he was getting run over. You got to be able to block for Gruden. Everybody knows that. So nobody should be surprised if they were paying attention and learning that he was getting run over and blocking, as far as blocking.
Well, if it was purely a football decision, then why didn't they play him at his real position?
Because
you would think if it's only because it's a football decision that they would actually play him at a position that he normally plays. You can't throw a kid who is not a running back into the running back spot on a shortened preseason and expect them to be able to pick it up. I'm not defending him at all. All I'm saying is it can't only be football, because if it was only football, they would have given him a chance to succeed, and they didn't.
It's also interesting to note that in the short time he got traded to Miami, they instantly installed him as a receiver.
Yes.
I mean, short of Tyrell Williams, being on the injury list, we were pretty deep. So I think they were just expecting him to come in and be the football player that he showed in college. Even though he may not have played running back, he was playing quarterback, wide receiver, returning kick. So that's the expectations that they had for him. So yeah, it might have to do with some off-field issues that he was dealing with. But when they were asking him to block,
DEA raids, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
yeah. So I mean, we keep talking about high character. That's an issue, and that's an important issue for the Raiders. That's something that they really want to do. So that was kind of weird. And then I think there were reports coming out that he was, buying a bunch of stuff and really not paying attention to or as into the book as the playbook as he should have been. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured at least keep him as a returner.
Yeah, I think one of the main issues was that he really didn't turn out to be the guy they hoped he would. They hoped he would be able to be used in a variety of different ways. And there are reports out there that he just didn't take it as seriously as he should have, and that he just didn't fit as far as team chemistry goes. And chemistry is everything, particularly when there's no preseason games and you don't really have any tape to show.
Right.
Yeah, they said attitude-wise, he kind of stuck out as in just a little bit antisocial, I guess.
I mean, I wish him well. He's got all the talent in the world, and maybe he'll make it down in Miami. But he didn't get off to a great start as far as his professional career goes.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got something back for him, because if they would have cut him, he would have got picked up and we would have lost out completely.
And I am glad that Gruden was able to say, you know what, this pick was a mistake and I'm going to move on from it. Unlike, say, when they drafted Johnny Townsend and he insisted that the dude was his punter the entire season when he was kicking 23 and 24-yard punts.
Well, and so many of the players through the Al Davis and even the Reggie regimes where players were on scholarship. They bring somebody in and just throw a bunch of money at them and they wouldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's not go down that road anymore. All right, the 53-man roster was announced, but there have been some moves since then. Most notably, Marcus Mariota and Tanner Muse have been placed on injured reserve. Under the 2020 COVID rules, they will only need to miss a minimum of 3 weeks. Now, I'm bummed out about Tanner Muse. I know that we were talking about him, going straight to special teams. I wanted him to be a starter, but that kid's got speed, So I was hoping, and I still am, that everything works out with him.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all about Mariota. Like I said, he's hurt. There's something wrong with him. Yes, he did make the roster, but then, they moved him off of it right away and stashed him on IR. So that doesn't surprise me at all. There's something wrong there. It's not just him not getting the playbook.
It certainly makes more sense when you think about and look at all the bad camps and practices that he's had.
Well, I like, the theory that's floating around out there that they're going to take the Jim Plunkett route with him and let him sit the bench for a little while and get back on his feet and get comfortable in the system, So Mariota can help us. He definitely could have helped us in 2016 when Carr went down. So, fingers crossed. I hope it works out for him.
He still may work out, but this is still Derek Carr's team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
In corresponding moves for the injured reserve, Sam Young and Kyle Wilbur were signed to the 53-man roster. We already mentioned that Kyle Wilbur, who's been a meaningful part of special teams, has been made a captain. I was really happy to see them get Sam Young back. I hated that he didn't initially make the 53-man roster, but I am glad to see that he's on it now.
Well, I think, keeping Eric Harris and letting go Demarius Randall, right? I think that shows that they believe in the team that they had from last year. A lot of them, you know what I mean? And they brought in the new guys they feel like can fill in the spots that we needed to have filled in. So, I'm going with what they say, what they did, because I believe in what Gruden and Mayock are doing. So.
All right, so this year, the practice squad will consist of 16 players, which is up and above what is the usual. Some of the more notable signings are Javen White. Glad to see him back in silver and black. Marcel Aitman, he's back on the practice squad. Keelan Doss is back. We brought back in Deshaun Kaiser from last year. And Theo Riddick is on the practice squad as well.
Yeah, and there are definitely different roles for practice squad and injured reserve this year. So the guys on the practice squad are a heck of a lot closer to being on the 53 than they ever have been.
Oh, yeah.
All right, T3, and that brings us to Heidi's High Five.
Here is this week's version of Heidi's High Five. Number one, I want to give a shout out to the 7 members of the Raiders 53-man roster that I did not have making the squad. Now, this is the initial 53-man roster. Here they are. Devontae Booker, Derek Carrier. Now, Heidi, you had called this one. Rico Gafford, I am happy about this one. Arden Key, happy that he made it. And I got to give props to both Heidi and Homer for this one. They both had him making the roster, and I did not. Dallin Levitt, he's a special teams ace. Brandon Parker, okay, Heidi, you can start crying now. We talked about the tears earlier, so there we go. And defensive end Kendall Vickers, which I admit caught me by surprise. He must have had a really good camp. Congrats to the entire 2020 Raiders roster. May you do great things. And we also realize and acknowledge that this is not the final 53-man roster. Things are fluid as we go. Number 2, turning to our opposition. Matt Rule, the Carolina Panthers head coach, is a winner, but he has a new quarterback and a young team in transition, which is really going to miss the presence of Luke Kuechly. Teddy Bridgewater is going to have to challenge the young Raiders secondary early and often because without an established game-changing threat, all eyes will be on Christian McCaffrey, who's been a number 1 pick in a lot of fantasy leagues. Don't be surprised to see teams loading up against him this year, just like defenses loaded up against Josh Jacobs and the Raiders last year. Number 3, playing with energy will be necessary for the Panthers to have a chance. This comes in the wake of a very uninspiring scrimmage last Friday, where coaches and players alike felt like guys were just going through the motions. Rule said that he thought the team got better as they went along, but that this team doesn't want to be a team that picks and chooses when to play. Now, this puts Vegas at an advantage, but the Silver and Black can't rest on that. It's basically a preseason game for everybody. Number 4, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robbie Anderson. Yes, the same Robbie Anderson that many Raider fans were screaming about bringing in during the offseason will be Teddy Bridgewater's top 3 targets on Sunday, and they will be going up against a young Raiders secondary. This is where that upfront pressure will be critical to determine early success either for Teddy's protection or for the Raiders' sack totals. And since the Panthers have only 2 tight ends on the roster as of this airing, one of whom is battling injury, the linebacking core is going to have to keep an eye on McCaffrey. Number 5, one of the 2 guys who will be taking most of the defensive snaps at linebacker for the Panthers will be our old buddy Tahir Whitehead. I cannot get out of my mind the constant images of backs and tight ends tearing through the middle of the Raiders' defense last year with Tahir giving chase. I hope that scene is replicated this week, and that's with Tahir, not with the Raiders' defense. And that is this week's version of Heidi's High Five.
Okay, thank you. Any thoughts on that list?
I think Bridgewater. McCaffrey, I think he's going to have a good game, but I am a little concerned about Bridgewater because he is a good quarterback, and we have, young cornerbacks with, as you just mentioned, T3, some pretty good wide receivers, coming in and able to help them. So this game, they don't have any tape on them. Gruden said in the press conference they're looking at the college tapes and the Saints offense. We have no idea what they're going to try to do. So hopefully they do just go through the motions, and maybe there's some kind of issue going on with inside that team and inside that locker room. So we'll see. But Whitehead, he better not show up and start balling out against us. I'm going to be pissed off.
Pick 6.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Don't say.
I would die.
Heidi, you're in the shit house now.
I am deeper in than I normally am.
Don't see that happen.
Yes.
I just do not see that happen.
The stranger things have happened.
I know. It seems like every time we play against former Raiders, they have a hell of a game, and I'm tired of seeing it.
Well, I think both offenses will be ahead of both defenses in this game particularly. The defenses usually are a little slower to catch up. Plus, they haven't had a chance to go live. So the offenses, knowing their schemes and knowing what they're going to be doing, the defenses are going to be playing catch-up all day. And that's on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Okay, what's the final score, guys?
I'm thinking that we're going to run the ball a lot, right? If the offenses have an advantage in this game, we damn sure want to control the clock and keep that offense off the field and allow our defense to make the necessary adjustments on the sideline once we get the ball back. So I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, probably something like 21-14 Raiders.
How about you, T3?
Now, as far as the outcome, here's what I'm going with. I'm going with 24-16 Raiders. Now, that's the same score as the Week 1 game last year against the Broncos. And this was a team that the Raiders totally outmanned for much of the game. But now the score was a lot closer than it should have been. So this is a better team put together, in my opinion, than last year's team as far as the Raiders are concerned. But I still see it as a close game because this is really like a preseason game. It could go either way. Let's see how the Raiders start the third quarter. That's what I'm looking at. because they've traditionally not made changes and come out and laid an egg in the third quarter of games. So that's what I'm looking at. But now with a win, even if it's close, if you combine that with the Chiefs' loss on Thursday night, hopefully, and then a Chargers loss and a Broncos loss, we'd be looking at first place after week one. Now, I don't know about you, Nation, but I'd be pretty happy about that.
I would be thrilled, especially with the part about the Broncos and the Chiefs losing.
Yes, especially the Chiefs.
Yes. Yeah, I made friends with a Chargers fan the other day.
What? Why?
Because
it's football season.
It's Alaska.
We could be there now.
The AFC West has to stick together. I mean, how many AFC West fans are there?
Yeah, no,
and I figured, I actually got to meet a Chargers fan. I think that's the other one that exists.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because there's only like two others, I think.
Well, they can't sell out SoFi Stadium now.
No, yeah, I kid. It's cool.
They can sell the soccer stadium. That was other teams kept buying all the tickets.
Yeah, I'm kidding. You're supposed to hate the team, not the fans. So I'm going to be having fans come on my channel from the other team. So I should watch what I say. So I apologize, other fans. Good luck to y'all this season, just not against us.
I'll tell you this. I've made a couple of trips down to San Diego, and I loved it down in San Diego. And the fan base down there, there were a lot of passionate Charger fans, but there were a lot of Raider fans down there too. And I just hate that we're not going to be able to go on down to San Diego anymore.
Yeah, a lot of those Chargers fans, when presented with between the Raiders and the Chargers, they became Raiders fans.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Good question.
I'm just going to stay quiet on that.
Speaking of how the Raiders are going to do this year, we compare to last year, and I mentioned about the third quarter, and I did some digging up of some of the results. And I wanted to look specifically at the first game last year, even though I know it was a home game, and this is going to be a road game and an East Coast trip, which the Raiders typically don't do well on. But now when I look at last year's game one, in the first half, Derek Carr went 16 of 17 for 178 yards and one touchdown. And that was in the first half. And for the whole rest of the game, he only had 83 yards passing. So when they came out in the second half, in the third quarter, the Raiders ran a total of 8 offensive plays, and they only had one first down. So that was in the whole third quarter. And then the other thing was, at the end of the game, they had a lead of 21-9, and they could have gone in and scored a touchdown and really put some distance between themselves and the Broncos. So with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, they had a first down on the Bronco 18. From there, they did not take time off the clock, and they weren't able to get a first down, so they had to kick a field goal. So that pushed the lead to 21-9, to 24-9, and then the Broncos came right down the field and scored. And so all I'm saying is there that not only does the defense need to step up in a major way like they never were able to do last year or seemed to never be able to do, but it really is contingent upon that offense to do something in the third quarter.
Well, I think that Ruggs is going to help with that, because you're going to have to pay attention to him because he's got that speed. And even though they're talking about him being in the slot and all that, they like a wide receiver that can play all three, X, Y, and Z. So, look for Ruggs to move around if they need to make some kind of adjustment like that to take the top off of or at least threaten to take the top off of a defense and keep those 8 men out of the box, which will allow us, like I said, hopefully to run the ball a little bit more, pick up those first downs, and, keep the other offense off the field.
Well, and I think if they design some more pass plays out of the backfield for Josh Jacobs and even bring Ingold into the fold more with some passes out of the backfield, bring that 2-eye banana back. We didn't see that a whole lot last year, but those are some plays that can really open up the middle of that defense. And the middle of the defense, I think, is where they're really going to eat. Because if you have Waller coming through the middle, you've got Hunter Renfrow settling down in there. And then if you've got bubble screens, Zay Jones can take it to the house and Ruggs as well. You've got lots of different weapons that you didn't have last year.
And don't forget, Witten is able to move the chains also.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Okay, and then I've got us winning 24-17.
She pushed an extra point on top of me there.
Mm-hmm.
She's always got to be on top of things.
That's right.
I always got to one-up you. Literally one-up you.
So Raider Nation, the season is here. So make sure you give us a call again at 904-701-8667 and tell us what you thought about the game. We'd love to hear from you.
And that brings us to Homer. Did you know?
All right. Now, the Carolina Panthers, who are the upcoming opponent this week, their first home game was September 1st, 1996 against the Atlanta Falcons, after playing their inaugural home schedule in 1995 at Clemson's Memorial Stadium. So we're talking about the first time they actually played in Charlotte. The Panthers won that game 29-6 on the strength of the passing of Kerry Collins, who then later on went to be a Raider. He had 186 net yards passing, 2 TDs, and no interceptions. Now, all time, the Panthers are 3-3 against the Raiders and 2-1 against them in Charlotte, in the stadium that they'll be playing in this week. Now, the last time the Raiders played in Charlotte, it was back in 2012, week 16, and they lost 17-6. The starting quarterback was Carson Palmer, who was replaced after only 3 pass attempts. Do you know who replaced him as quarterback?
Oh, man. Let's see.
I don't know.
Was it Bruce Gradkowski?
The answer is Matt Leinart.
Oh.
And he did so well, in fact, that he was replaced the following week by Terrell Pryor for the final home game of the season against San Diego, which the Raiders also lost.
Man, can you ask me some easy ones?
No.
All right, that brings us to the best segment of the show, Heidi's Heroes.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be?
On July 26, 2018, Redding, California had hit a record high temperature of 113 degrees. A large fire, known as the Car Fire, was bearing down on the city. Several residential neighborhoods were in grave danger and needed to be evacuated. That's where Fire Inspector Jeremy Stoke comes into the story. He had cut his vacation 4 days short so he could return to help the Redding Fire Department as they fought the blaze. Stoke spent much of the day evacuating threatened neighborhoods and trying to get people to safety. At 7:39 p.m., he was driving his truck to evacuate more people when he radioed in a Mayday call. He broke traffic again and reported that he was being burned over in the middle of the street. He requested a water drop on his location. When a crew tried to respond, Stoke's radio went dead. What had happened was he got caught in a fire tornado. The tornado was 1,000 feet wide at the base, and internal winds reached up to 165 miles an hour. It is believed that temperatures inside reached 2,700 degrees. It had destroyed homes and even picked up a shipping container in its wake. Stoke, seeking refuge in his pickup truck, did not stand a chance. Stoke's body was located the next morning. Stoke gave his life for his community. He was a family man with a wife and 2 kids. He coached Little League and volunteered in the community. He gave his life for his city, and he'll always be remembered as a Heidi's hero.
Yeah, that's a sad story, you know. Prayers and condolences to his family, and he is a hero, you know. Mm-hmm. And shout out to all the firemen fighting the fires in California right now, you know, especially Polo Rodriguez, man. Be safe out there, brother. Yeah.
Let me echo that. There are so many people on the front lines taking care of people, putting out fires. We just can't even send enough support or say enough good things about all the people that are giving their lives and giving so much of themselves to help others.
Yeah, and it's devastating. You know, I'm not down there this year. My first summer away from there. And my friends that are posting pictures on Facebook, one of them this morning said, you know, it's been overcast with a lot of ash for several weeks now. But today it feels dystopian. And the pictures she posted, they looked like from a dystopian movie.
Yeah, Michael Aragon was posting videos, And Angela Pacheco, she was posting videos too. Angela's cars were covered with ash, and Mike was posting pictures of the sky, and it just looked weird. And it's supposed to be daytime. And it's like, man, y'all be safe out there. Prayers going out to California.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you all have seen this, but I saw a picture today, and we're recording this on Wednesday, but I saw a picture this afternoon from one of the Bay Area affiliates, and they took a picture of the San Francisco skyline, and it looked almost like a picture of Mars.
Yeah.
With the sky a blaze orange.
Yeah.
And like you said, Heidi, it looked dystopian almost.
Yeah, so thoughts and prayers are with everyone facing the fires, people fighting the fires and people escaping the fires. You're definitely part of our hearts.
Oh, yeah.
And this can encourage all of us to whether you're in the fire zone or not, check on a neighbor during these times when you have things around you. This is maybe my public service announcement, but if you have elderly or people that are in need of help, just check on a neighbor, knock on the door, make a phone call, ask questions, and just make sure that the people around you are safe as well.
Yeah, good idea. All right. Thanks again to our listeners for joining us on the Only Nation podcast.
All right, Raider Nation. We want to hear from you. Like I said earlier, call us at 904-701-8667. You can leave us a voicemail or send us a text to that number. You can email us at onlynationpod@gmail.com and find us on Twitter and Instagram at onlynationpod. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at The Only Nation Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on all your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps. Don't forget to send us a message with your name and address, and we'll get some free Raider swag sent out to you. Also, check out our new website at onlynationpod.com.
Until next time, everyone, go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Raiders.